fight reactions. This is a little side project I'm doing other than my usual D's Rants and Reviews. For some that don't know, I'm a retired professional fighter, and I thought it'd be interesting for me to go back and look at some of the fights that I've looked at over the years and talk about some of my memories of the fights and even some fights that I have yet to see. And I see how interesting this show is, and hopefully if you do like it, you can click subscribe and I'll give you more. I remember this was a big fight. This was the first fight that I remember following the hype for. Like, they had commercials. I remember they had, I think Mike Tyson was, he was doing Pepsi, and Michael Spinks was doing Coke. It was Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke, if I remember correctly. It could have been vice versa, but they both were doing advertisements for soda. They had commercials. I remember they had specials talking about both fighters' histories and stuff of that nature. And this is at the time when, you know, Mike Tyson was the most popular athlete in the world. I mean, heavyweight champion of the world, reigning heavyweight champion of the world. And when I mean reigning, he was really reigning. Like, he was, at that time, we thought that dude was invincible. Literally thought that nobody could beat that dude, because he was just so devastating in the ring. It was like nothing you ever saw before. Like, everything that you saw in the Rocky movies, because, you know, when you saw the Rocky movies, the way the fighting was in those movies wasn't realistic to what you see in an actual fight. But with Tyson, it almost seemed like it was like those movies. Like, that's how devastating this fighting was. And I remember this fight was pretty big because Michael Spinks had been the heavyweight champion prior to that, after beating Larry Holmes twice, or rather them giving him the victories against Larry Holmes twice. And anybody that's seen both of those fights know why I'm saying that. But this was a big fight because, you know, Mike Tyson had the belts, but Ring Magazine was only recognizing Michael Spinks as the champion. And anybody that knows boxing knows that whoever Ring Magazine says is champion is generally who they say is champion. So this was a big fight. And again, I followed the hype. Followed a lot of the hype. As a matter of fact, what's funny is this fight was huge. I was following the hype. Summer '88, I had spent the whole summer out here in LA, staying with my father. And so watching TV, and I saw all the specials and everything. I was watching it. I was very interested, but the fight was on pay-per-view. So the night it happened, I didn't even watch the actual fight. I had to wait. I think I didn't even see this actual fight to maybe like years later. But I remember I knew what had happened because as this fight was going on, whatever I was watching on TV the night that this fight happened, what scrolled across the bottom of the ring was updates on the fight. And I remember at one point, update showing that the fight has just started. And then, like, not too long after that, it said the fight is over, and it told what had happened. But yeah, this fight was huge. This fight was huge. Yeah, Michael Spinks was a light heavyweight that moved up. He is still recognized by many, including Boxing Illustrated and Ring Magazine. Yeah, Boxing Illustrated and Ring Magazine still recognize him as heavyweight champion of the world. Even though Tyson was just destroying everybody, they still was giving Michael Spinks credit. And again, Michael Spinks wasn't no bum either. You know, Michael Spinks was a great fighter. Him and his brother Leon, you know, they both Olympic gold medalists. He had the goods. But this dude right here was just something else at this time. And remember also, when you found out later on that this night, all the personal stuff that Mike was going through at the time, he pretty much had to put everything in the ring that night. Everything he was going through, everything that was bothering him, he had to just take it out on Michael Spinks. And again, this was this was really the last night we saw this Mike Tyson. We saw the true reigning Mike Tyson, because this was the last time he fought with his original corner as well, which his head coach being Kevin Rooney. Kevin Rooney was the last true connection training wise to where he came from, Catskills, with learning under Customato. So this was an interesting fight, because this was really the last night we saw this Mike Tyson. This was him at his peak, and a lot of people say this was probably his best night. Like, every fighter has their best night, and this was the night that Mike Tyson was probably at his absolute best.
Millions and millions of dollars on the line. Billions of people literally.
The thing is, watching this dude fight is no filling out time. He just goes at it. He goes for it from the beginning.
Championship of the world. This is a 12-round fight.
12 rounds, but it ain't going that long.
Many people think have an opportunity to do something against Iron Mike Tyson. Tyson dressed in his black trunks.
There's that little jig that he used to dance right before the bell rings.
Real flashiness to anything but his boxing. Michael Spinks, on the other hand, dressed in his white trunks with the black trim, the white shoes.
There it is.
And we're just
Here we go.
The opening bell. Let's see what happens.
Again, he wasted no time. He just goes. That's the thing. Mike just, he just beats you up. You know, other fighters go, they try to fill you out, trying to see what you're coming with. Mike didn't care. He just go in there and beat you up. And you see Spinks is doing the best he can. I warned Mike about the elbows, because that's what other fighters used to complain about him throwing them elbows. But he noticed Mike is just walking through Michael Spinks' punches. And Michael Spinks is strong. He's got good boxing skills. He's trying to display boxing skills, but he can't get anything going, because Mike coming in is taking away his jab, so he's never even getting started. But right there, that's when he start feeling that power. Oh, Mike is just trying to kill him, man. Boom. Ooh, that uppercut. Hook to the body. You can tell the way he turned. He was trying to set up that signature hook to the body, followed by that uppercut to the chin, which he'd actually turned into a southpaw stance for him. Boom! Damn. Oh, he's hurt, man. He is hurt. Damn. And Mike putting out his arms like, what'd you think was going to happen? What'd you think was going to happen? That was crazy. This was a huge fight. Huge fight. And I remember even like some of the predictions, you actually had like some people predicted that, you know, Michael Spinks would win. I remember watching a video where they were talking to some celebrities, and even somebody like Billy Crystal said that he thought that Spinks was going to win it in 8. And he was wrong. So there you have it, Mike Tyson at the peak of his reign, going into the ring against Michael Spinks and completely destroying him within 1 round. As a matter of fact, 1 minute and 30 seconds is all it took for Michael Gerard Tyson, the dispatch of Michael Spinks. Again, nothing against Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks was a great champion. But again, at that particular time, as we thought, nobody in the world could beat Mike Tyson. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more, please click subscribe and let me know what you think. Let me also know some other fights you'd like to see me react to. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.